Hello, this tutorial will cover working with sub-portfolios in Fund Manager. When working with sub-portfolios, you'll use this Portfolio Editor window. The Portfolio Editor window is shown here. It contains all your sub-portfolios on the left side, and whatever you select on the left, its immediate contents are shown on the right in this list view. If you're not already in the Portfolio Editor window, you can get to it from within any other window in Fund Manager by selecting View, Portfolio Editor. Sub-portfolios allow you to organize your accounts. Typically, your lowest level sub-portfolios are your account level sub-portfolios, and these directly contain your investments. For example, this Scottrade sub-portfolio contains 2 investments, and you can see these account level sub-portfolios that contain investments have a slightly different icon with a little green arrow indicating that they directly contain investments, as opposed to, for example, this all accounts sub-portfolio, which is just the yellow because it only contains other sub-portfolios and doesn't directly contain any investments. To demonstrate creating another layer of sub-portfolio hierarchy, we'll group these 2 daughter sub-portfolios into another layer of hierarchy. To do this, you would first create the additional layer. So we want to add daughter inside all accounts. So I'm going to right mouse click on all accounts, select the new sub-portfolio command. It's going to say daughter. And typically for organizational level sub-portfolios, you won't have an account number or default cash account or any of these other settings. So we'll just enter a name and press OK. And you can see it added it to our list. It's empty right now. To add these 2 sub-portfolios into daughter, we'll highlight the parent of what we want to move, because we want to move these 2 sub-portfolios into daughter. So we'll highlight all accounts so that we see the contents of all accounts on the right. And it contains these 2 sub-portfolios. You can use the Control and Shift keys to select multiple items. So I'm going to select both of the daughter accounts, and I'm going to drag and drop over onto the daughter sub-portfolio. And now you can see the daughter sub-portfolio has a little plus sign indicating that there's something in it. And now we've created another level of hierarchy. So when you report, you can pick which level of sub-portfolio hierarchy you want to report at. You can report all the way at the top level or any level beneath it. So we'll create a sample portfolio value report, and here's where you would choose which level of hierarchy you want to report on. And for this, we'll just report on our new daughter sub-portfolio. And you can optionally have it subtotal any sub-portfolios that are beneath it. So we'll leave that on so that we can see a subtotal for each of our 2 accounts. Here you can see the total for the daughter, and then you see the subtotal for each of her 2 accounts, and then it lists the investments that are in each of her accounts. If you want to see what it would look like without subtotaling, it's just going to be a flat listing of investments, because we're choosing to list by investment in this case. So now you can see it's just a flat listing of investments without the subtotals. But notice the daughter level sub-portfolio contains everything and all the sub-portfolios beneath it. You can have as much sub-portfolio hierarchy as you want. So if you wanted to group them in another way, we could add another layer of hierarchy. For example, if we wanted to group them by tax status, we would create 2 new sub-portfolios. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. I'll just say taxable and tax-free. So now I have 2 new sub-portfolios, and I could say my 401k and my Roth belong in tax-free. And I'll just put daughter, Scottrade, son, and TD Ameritrade over into taxable. Now under all accounts, I've got these 2 layers. I've got tax-free, taxable, and I've grouped them into another layer of hierarchy so that if I were to run a report or graph, I could now report at the tax-free or taxable level. And I'll just show you how to undo that. So if I wanted to eliminate a layer of hierarchy, I would move these lower level subportfolios out first, move them back to the all accounts layer. When you're dragging and dropping, you want to highlight the parent of what you want to move on the left so that you see the item that you want to move listed on the right, and then click and drag from the right over onto the left wherever you want to drop it. So now I'm going to eliminate the tax. I want to remove these two. So I'm just going to close them, and it says, "Are you sure?" And I say yes. Another common usage of subportfolios is to help separate actual holdings from things like watch lists, indices, and maybe exchange rate investments. Here you can see we have an indices subportfolio that contains a couple of indices that we like to include on some of our reports, but they're in a separate layer of hierarchy from all accounts so that they don't get included in the all accounts totals. For additional flexibility on grouping subportfolios, you can also use link subportfolios. Link subportfolios can be useful to organize your same existing subportfolios into additional hierarchies. Using link subportfolios allows you to have an exact mirror image of a different subportfolio located somewhere else in the hierarchy without duplicating data. It's just an exact mirror image. We've done this under these by person and by type subportfolios by including links. So for example, this 401k is a link over to this actual subportfolio. You can see that the link has been assigned and it's just a pointer to the 401k subportfolio. So if I wanted to create another link into, for example, I'll add, let's see, which one should I add? I'll add my daughter Vanguard to the regular subportfolio here as a link. So to do that, you just say new subportfolio, and instead of creating a regular new subportfolio, you click on this button here, link to. And I want to create a link over to daughter Janice. Say OK, and you can see it took on the properties. They're read-only, but it's linked over to this other subportfolio. So when I say OK, daughter Janice is going to show up here where I added it. So you can see that the icon is purple, indicating that it's a link, and it's a link over to this subportfolio. So it looks just like it contains the same items as the regular subportfolio, but any changes that we make to this subportfolio are automatically reflected over here. And this allows you to create a whole nother separate hierarchy without duplicating and copying data. It just automatically updates this whenever anything in here changes. Subportfolios can also be marked as hidden. For example, if you close all the investments, if you sell everything in an account and you no longer want it cluttering up your screen, you can mark it as hidden by going to the properties of a subportfolio and turning on this hidden attribute. Here we've marked TD Ameritrade as hidden. Right now it's being displayed, but if you want to actually hide your hidden items, you have to go to the View menu and turn off hidden investments and portfolios. And when I do that, the TD Ameritrade is no longer displayed. Hidden items are still factored into your overall portfolio calculations, and they're in your historical records. They're just not actually displayed. Similarly to hiding is closing, but closing actually completely removes a subportfolio from your record. So if you just don't want to have anything to to do with it anymore, you can close it for some, like maybe you made a mistake and you just want to start over, or it's just something that you don't want in your records anymore. You could close the subportfolio. You can close any subportfolio by right mouse clicking on it and pressing close, or use this toolbar button or edit and close. And it'll give you a warning that you're about to close it and it's going to be completely and permanently removed from your records, and is that okay? And if you're okay with it, you would just say yes, and it will remove it. And we had a pointer to it, so that pointer is also going to be removed, the two linked subportfolios that we had to it. Okay, I think that covers our tutorial on subportfolios. Thanks for watching.